Hello viewers and subscribers. Welcome once again my new screencast. Today I try to give it to you the new screencast about the uh, the continuation of the screencast number 2 and screencast number 7. And there was a lot of questions from viewers and subscribers, those who had no experience about the different UI development frameworks. Development frameworks means the JavaScript based UI frameworks and also the Java or Groovy based UI development frameworks. And that's why the lot of viewers and subscribers asking me to give it to really independent some screencast. How can, without those development UI development framework, how can they make some very simple web pages with the JavaScript and HTML and CSS. And basically what I mean, if if you are beginner, or I mean, if you try to start the web programming or web GIS programming, or any content based programming, that means without any framework, how can you start your web development? Doesn't matter web development for web GIS programming or web GIS development, front-end development, or any other simple web pages development. But end of the day, after when you have some experience about the JavaScript and HTML and CSS and different map libraries like OpenLayers and Leaflets, and in different chat libraries, I mean the graphs libraries, and then you can practice it, and you can build also the very simple web pages, and then in these pages you can integrate with your other home pages. That's I mean. So what I mean, if you have a development framework, like let's say you have in the right side, you see the pictures, like you have a JavaScript based UI framework. That means in the framework you have all together. So in a lot of frameworks, they have the down level, there's communication, or there is a uses the JavaScript, HTML, CSS. That means if you don't use the framework, then even though you can learn it and you can build some very simple web pages. If you have a framework, then a framework itself contained all the libraries and all the plugins that you need to build your really professional, so enterprise level UI developments. Doesn't matter it's UI development from the JavaScript based frameworks or Java and Groovy based frameworks. I already had some experience, or I already did some screencast with Angulars, and I'm continuing to try to build some React based web pages from those things. But in the screencast number 34, I will show you later in my channels how ways look like. And then I have some screencast from the timely based UI development template engine, free marker, and even though Grails. This is the Grails in top of the Groovy language. The Groovy is written in top of the Java. So, and JSP and JSF, Java Server Pages and Java Server Faces. And this is the idea is, how when you didn't have any experience, or when you didn't use any UI development frameworks, then how can you start the UI development as a front-end developer? That's the idea, to give it to really clear idea how it is done. Normally in the enterprise level, in the application or any professional web pages, or any if you work with the company, and they use the really specific frameworks. Doesn't matter for the development, because framework make our life easier. That's why the framework is really important. That's why the very beginners and a lot of viewers and subscribers asking me to make without any framework, how can they start the front-end development. That's why I try to give it to you, this multicast screencast. I will continue with you, and then you can try to get it clearly what I mean, and how can you start the front-end development. Basically, on the front-end development that I am trying to do with the web GIS programming. How can you make a maps with your the web functionality, web map functionality, or I mean the web GIS functionality without any framework and with the existing libraries like JavaScript libraries, different JavaScript libraries like OpenLayers map libraries, lib map libraries, Google Maps libraries, and the standard HTML and CSS and JavaScript and different chat or graphs libraries. That's I mean how I can start. So let's continue the what I have it at the moment, and then I will continue each of the part of the development with you for the different projects. So if you saw the pictures, like I had some Angular TypeScript based projects, the screencast number, I think so screencast number, this is the 34 screencast number. There's a lot of functionalities with the geo and non-geo functionalities, and even the language translation is here, it still works. And then the translation that I did, just follow the screencast number. I think so it's screencast number, screencast number 30. I can go there, screencast number, the screencast number 35, the screencast number 35, you can follow that the screencast number for the Angular Node.js, Angular TypeScript web application development. This is the application development with the based on the geo and non-geo functionalities, and that's I mean the geo and non-geo functionalities. And then here you can have a lot of forms, Angular forms, because I said in the first screen presentation slide. If you have done experience about any UI development framework, then you can, how can you start the front-end development? So it is the enterprise level applications. There's many more functionalities to do control the for the geo and non-geo functionalities. It's all the forms, and then you can see I'm continuing this one. You can follow this screencast, and then you can go the other part of the applications, the other part of the screencast. So you can have a lot of possibilities, even though they have the geo and non-geo, the geo server call, map geo server call. You see the lot of data is coming from the geo server. I already had did some screencast about the geo server. How can you call this geo server? The service WMS and WFS services into the your web page and build the geo functionalities with the non-geo part. That's I mean. So there's a lot of maps, and then you can go. You see that all the maps from the geo. That's why I said you this the depending how can you start the development, which UI development framework you try to use your developments. Those all things together as your requirement specific, and then it's depending on your company specification or your backgrounds. So if you are in the JavaScript based any UI framework development frameworks, you can go also this one. And even though if you are the Java and Groovy based developer, then you can go also Java based any UI development frameworks like Timely, FreeMarker, and depending. I already had some there's those examples in the Java and if you go to this, I think so this will be the Java Groovy based frameworks. This is the Java Groovy based framework, and then this is the FreeMarker and FreeMarker and Spring Boot applications, and even though the Timely applications. I believe there is something is Timely based GUI development framework. So that means at least you need the some experience or some basic understanding how the JavaScript works, because a lot of nowadays a lot of developments in any enterprise or big companies, they are using really a lot of JavaScript based UI development framework. This is really flexible, faster, much faster than from the Java UI development frameworks, because there's a much faster than means in the depending on the rendering and caching and capacities of the your capacities, means that your capacities for your resources, means if you have a really company like the Java based company, and then you can go with Java, and if you have really no Java based developer or Java experience, then you can even though go with the JavaScript based UI development or JavaScript based any technology stack, then you can implement